Guys, if you want to see more of the series, please smash the like button, because it goes a long way. So just before we start the video, I just wanted to make sure that you guys, I get the support for the series, and because some of these videos are going to be very long, so I want to make sure that it's something that you guys actually want to see. So if you could do that, that'd be awesome. I really appreciate it. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we have finally started my rugby series. And the best name that I think that I've come up with is called Rugby for Football Fans. Now, if you guys can think of a better title, I'd really appreciate if you guys could come up with, give me some ideas for a good series title, and leave it down in the comments section, and I'll run through them and see if I like any of your ideas, if you can come up with something better than Rugby for Football Fans. I just want to keep it simple, straight to the point, and that's kind of the best thing that I could really think of. So, I'm just going to take, a lot of you guys have asked for this series, a lot of you guys, so I have finally got around to making the first episode, and I am going to just basically, it's very difficult to like say that this guy would be this position in American football, or vice versa between rugby and football, because it's very, very difficult. Obviously American football is derived from rugby, but at the same time, it's, football has evolved a lot and become very much its own sport. So, I'll do what I can, and hey, I don't claim to be an expert in either sport, so, this is all just for fun, guys, but I do like to think that I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to rugby, having been a pretty serious rugby fan, since I started watching the All Blacks. And, yeah, so in this episode, I'm going to start with none other than the GOAT. The guy who put World Rugby on the map, basically. The All Blacks were already, pretty well known before he came along, but when he came along, it kind of shot them into the stratosphere. He gained like millions of fans all through Asia. They just absolutely loved him over there. He was the first guy who was like all over TV and ads for McDonald's and all that sort of stuff, the real sort of, getting all the sports deals and stuff like that. So, and unfortunately he passed away a couple of years ago, which is quite sad, and he was very young. So I'll just quickly see if I can get some, like, because you guys probably like your stats and everything like that. So he was 1.96 meters tall, which is 1.96 meters in feet. He was 6'4", and I don't know if I'll be able to get his weight, but he, okay, he was, yeah, 265 pounds. I don't know if I'll be able to get any, like, speed times or anything like that. Let's see if we can see, hang on, speed, Jonah Lomu speed, okay. Let's see, playing style. Lomu had a unique combination of power, size and speed that made him devastating with the ball in hand. He weighed 120 kgs or 265 pounds and was 6'4", but could run 100 meters in 10.8 seconds. So 40 yards. So how many yards? I don't know. Can you guys relate to that? Because the Olympic speed. Obviously, he never did a 40-yard dash because he's not a football player, but the Olympic speed, 10.8 seconds is basically like an Olympic, like, sprinting speed. He could have ran along, maybe not in the main events, but he could have easily ran for New Zealand at the Olympics in sprinting. So to be that big and to be an Olympic grade sprinter, I think is pretty impressive. Actually, now come to think of it, I do remember that the NFL is showing an interest in signing Jonah Lomu, and it was the Dallas Cowboys who wanted to add him to their team, to their roster, but he turned them down because I think he wanted to carry on playing for the All Blacks. During his playing time, he was actually 280 pounds. And I've just got here, I typed in Jonah Lomu 40-yard dash just out of interest sake to see if he'd actually done it before, and it says here, despite weighing around 280 pounds, Lomu's 40-yard dash time was predicted to be just under 4.5 seconds at the time the Cowboys were supposedly making their offer. It's this remarkable combination of speed and strength and agility that has pegged Lomu as football's best running back never to put on pads. So, I think this is coming from an American journalist too, and it really is his size. You know, his size that for someone that big, you know, 6'4" and 280 pounds to come under 4.5 seconds in the 40-yard dash time. I mean, I've just been doing a little bit of you know, research just to find out like if anybody's come close to that in terms of their size, like the fastest lineman or the fastest linebacker or whatever like that. And from what I can't find anything, but I mean, if you guys can find something, that'd be awesome. So yeah, he was just a freak of nature. Like, it's just, it was insane to see a man that big move that fast. It really was. It was just, I think that's really what sort of, that set him apart from everyone else. Because like he said in the documentary, I can play the speed game and I can play the physical game. So if anyone can match me for speed, I'll play the physical game against them. And if anybody's bigger than me, I'll just run around them. So that's just what made him so devastating. So yeah, there's some measurables for him though, for you guys, for those who are interested in his stats. So what I've found here is a mini documentary on YouTube, which I actually haven't seen yet. It was only released, when was it released? 10th of February 2019. A couple of days ago, literally a couple of days ago. It's already got 31,000 views, and it's 15 minutes long, so I'll get cracking into it, you know, pretty shortly. But yeah, the channel is Raw Rugby, so I suggest you guys go and subscribe to this channel, because I'll leave the link to the original video down in the description. But from what I see, it's got you know, the comments have the videos had high praise, so I'm pretty excited to see this, guys. And this will just go through probably some of his you know, just his story basically. I'm guessing it's like a football life or a 30 for 30 type style documentary. And I'm pretty sure maybe a lot of you guys have already heard of Jonah Lomu, because he's you know, he's pretty much the biggest, you know, he's the first name that kind of comes out of everyone's mouth when they're talking about, you know, who's the best rugby player of all time. So well, he's always definitely in the discussion. So here we go, Jonah Lomu, Making of a Legend, mini documentary. Let's do it. He grew up just down the road from here.
I come from humble beginnings.
In Mangere. I think it was Mangere. Was it?
I didn't grow up with the sense that this is where I was destined
Yep.
to be.
Mangere, South Auckland.
I grew up looking at that black jersey
All Blacks, man.
and knowing that where I was didn't matter,
Greatest.
because I could become something greater.
That's like that's one of his most
First day at
famous
Wesley
plays.
College, the
Wesley
deputy
College.
headmaster pulled me aside and said, the first step before anyone else in the world believes it is that you have to believe it. He told me to trial for the first 15.
There he is, back in his school days, man. Look how much, he's a big unit.
To make the team. It wasn't the last team that I was the youngest ever.
Jonah Lomu, the youngest All Black ever, 19 years and 45 days old.
Later that year, it was my teammates who supported me. When I was diagnosed
Rest
with
in peace,
nephrotic
man.
syndrome, the lowest point in my career, I wasn't just content with playing PlayStation. I wanted the real thing. I wanted to be an All Black again.
Most of the talk has been about this man, Jonah Lomu.
I did that
Lomu's in the clear.
and played in what is now known as the greatest game ever.
Oh, what a game of rugby that was, man. Wow, I remember watching that live. Never
Three
forget
tries
it.
in the first 5 minutes.
This is a try fest.
The Wallabies on the comeback.
Beautiful game, man. What a game.
Winning try. People said that I'll never get a chance to play for the Bledisloe again. But the Bledisloe represents possibility.
What a game of rugby this has been.
Possibility. If we dream something,
Wilson!
if we picture something,
Stopping Jim Wilson this time.
we can make it a reality.
Oh, run him over, run over.
People better get out of the way.
And who
Get
better
out of
to
the
give
way.
it to
Boom.
than the big man? And he's
Bounced. That's my city, Auckland.
First time I met Jonah was at Wesley College. They had a sevens team, and they asked me, I was playing for New Zealand Sevens, they asked me to come out and take a training. And that's where I first met him. Big guy, he could run really fast. And everything about him was big, you know, the big legs and the big arms. Yeah, he was a big man.
Go once again. That's a lovely run by the captain.
He's got the turn the jets on.
That is a magnificent try from inside the 22. The ball in the arms now of Lomu.
He just turns the pace on and goes on the outside.
Lomu goes in for his hat-trick of tries.
Okay, just before we carry on, just if I can try and put him as a position in football, like what would he be? I would say that he would be. He's probably a little bit too big for a running back because he was very tall. I think that he would have made a really good tight end, and possibly tight end / wide receiver because he had great hands and obviously very tall. But he just had he was very fast, but also very muscular as well. So maybe I guess like a Travis Kelce sort of. Actually, I think he was probably far more muscular than Travis Kelce. But yeah, so something along those lines. Just a big, fast like receiver / tight end. That's the best I can really think of. But I mean, then again, with ball in hand, he was really good. He could juke people and run them out, truck them like nobody.
Final, Jonah Lomu, what a sensation!
He made a fantastic impression at the Hong Kong Sevens, scoring wonderful tries and thrilling the huge, excitable crowd there.
Lomu, one-on-one, how can he lose this? He can't.
Bounced.
Those games were telecast live back to New Zealand, and this kid suddenly became the name on everyone's lips.
And the young giant Jonah Lomu on Serebi the master.
Cuts around the man.
Lomu.
He was so good.
Magnificent try. Jonah Lomu, the
Such a
man
good player. Boom. Smashes him.
strength from the big man.
Here we go. Bring it on, bro.
Takes more than one to tackle him. Takes more than two. It takes more than three.
Can't stop him.
He just exploded on that scene, and the next 2 years he got even better, which was hard to believe.
Here come the All Blacks.
He did, man.
Led out by the captain, Sean Fitzpatrick and Philippe Saint-André. Leads out.
I was like 8 or 9, when he exploded onto the scene, bro. So, so as a little kid,
19 years.
I was just like, man.
5 days old.
And unfortunately,
So cool to
Jonah
see.
was playing against some of the best wingers in world rugby.
He made
That
me
was
dream,
a very
man.
difficult initiation, but one that was going to prove to be very beneficial going forward.
Yeah, I think they lost this game to France. I think this was the last time they lost to Eden Park. That's right, I think this try is called the try from the end of the earth.
A series win over New Zealand. France 23, New Zealand 20.
I think I learnt
You don't
more
see that
from
often.
those two games than I've ever learnt in any other game.
Maybe we asked a little bit too much of him too soon, but I believe that those few games that he had for the All Blacks in '94 prepared him for what was to come in '95.
Well, we spoke
Rugby
earlier
World
of
Cup
Jonah Lomu and just how
in South
important he
Africa.
is to this New Zealand setup.
Kicked away to Lomu.
Oh, two guys
Yes,
at
really
once.
with the ball in hand, he's just unstoppable, isn't he? He is unstoppable. Little out to Lomu. He can get the big legs going. He's only got
Look
one
at
to
that,
beat.
man. Stiff arm, stiff arm, stiff arm.
They've gathered again.
Try and bring him down.
I don't believe this.
Pass. Oh, what an offload.
He's got it up to Crutchfield.
An offload is kind of like a
And
lateral,
again it's been scored.
but rugby players just do it like on another level. As they're falling behind the back, no looks.
I always thought to myself I was the best player in my position, and whoever was coming up against me, didn't matter who they were, didn't care where they came from and so forth. I was going to dominate, whether if it was with speed, and if they matched me for that.
He was
then
quick,
they
man, for a big guy.
physically.
Real quick.
And that was the one thing that I had that a lot of other players didn't have, was that I could play the two games. I could play the speed game, and I could also play the physical game.
Lomu. Lomu and Proctor. Lomu. Three of them onto him, and they smacked him, but they didn't hold him. And he may get there yet, but Crutchfield gets it. Lomu's away. Lomu away.
Turn the jets on.
Chest by Hastings. Lomu high top Scott Hastings.
Oh, oh, I feel sorry for that guy. What a pass.
But it's a New Zealand try.
This guy here. Steamroll.
The big man on that left wing.
Out it goes to Lomu. Lomu, the sidestep. Lomu for the corner. Lomu's in for the try. It was as easy as But the big New Zealand
He made me
winger
dream,
in
man.
the
He made me
corner.
dream as a little boy.
Are New Zealand able to beat Will Carling's English side today?
As you're preparing to do the haka, you pick up the person, you know, you find someone, whoever stares at you, you just stay locked eye contact, and it just happened to be Tony. But the problem was that you gave me that one, and you know, and that was him just acknowledging that he accepts the challenge, and he's always admired it. But for me at that time, my thing was, yeah, you wink, yeah, you have accepted the challenge, but I'm going to wipe that wink off your face.
What a warrior, man.
Wide to Lomu. He's got the bounce.
This is it. This is the famous play here. Doof. You're not bringing him down, son.
Say the name Lomu, because you'll be saying it a lot more over the next few years.
Oh, this is Lomu again. Lomu
Straight through the gap. He's around under the posts.
Fouled. Lomu. 3 for Lomu. Lomu. Hands up to
Stiff
the
arm.
underwood. Lomu. Heading for
Cuts in off the left.
That's the most brilliant quartet of tries.
4 tries for Lomu in this World Cup semi-final.
The Nelson Mandela.
Okay, just before I carry on, the Rugby World Cup 1995, the final, this was held in South Africa, and the final was the All Blacks versus South Africa. And there is a huge scandal that surrounds this game. Not for anything that happened during the game, but for what happened before the game. I'll see if they touch on that in this documentary, but if they don't, I'll give you a very brief little rundown of what happened.
Thing is, you know, it's huge because like, it doesn't matter how many times you meet the person.
Nelson
It never
Mandela.
changes. You know, the feeling that you know you've been a fantastic man, a great man.
Man, the haka's come a
Playing
long way.
mental game with somebody, man. South Africa did the perfect mental game, bringing someone out like that.
Oh. In all fairness, I mean, South Africa played a great game.
Good tackle from Joubert, but Lomu now on the charge. Back it comes to Stransky. Up goes the kick. Stransky has tipped his head.
Drop kick.
South Africa have won the World Cup.
It hurts losing that game, but to see how World Rugby brought a country together, a man like Nelson Mandela, and also Francois Pienaar, you know, the combined of the Springboks and the nation, because of what the Springboks stood for before and what it stands for now.
Next World Cup. World Cups are every 4 years, by the way. On odd numbers. Oh. Dragging people with them, man. Dragging bodies. Nice little lob pass over the top.
Second try for Jonah Lomu.
Goose step.
Breaking the hearts
And he's
of the
in.
Tongans. Out to Lomu.
He loves that, just to cut on the right and then just run around the outside on the left. If you got number 11 on your back, it means you're a left winger.
Back inside to Lomu. Pass one, pass two. Here he goes again.
This guy just got out of his way.
It's over. His second try.
Look at that pass, man.
Lomu steps outside.
Didn't even have it in his hand like for a split second.
Still not down. He's over.
For me,
Cut right through.
99 World Cup
Knocked out.
was the worst changing room.
Knocked out by an illegal forward pass.
But the better team won on the day.
Auckland Blues. Back when the Auckland Blues were actually good.
Lomu in space. Lomu in Rinsford. That's one out of the road. That's two. He's almost there. He's there. Spencer through.
Nice offload. Carlos Spencer.
Guys put everything into it.
Definitely going to do a video on him.
Got that win. It was just one of the most satisfying feelings of my career in Super 12 level.
O'Halloran pushes through. Lomu's coming quickly. He's got the bounce. And Wellington get the first.
Oh man, I miss watching this guy play.
And the big guy against Willem Barker.
Bringing back so many memories.
Can he do it again? Yes!
Got there.
Jonah Lomu,
Oh,
player in the world, can score a try like that. The game is over. It's 14 long years since they last won the NPC. But Wellington start the new millennium in the best possible way.
Kia ora, good evening. The rugby world is in mourning after the death of Jonah Lomu. He wasn't just one of
So
our
sad.
most famous All Blacks, but one of the best known and most loved rugby players of all time, credited with changing the game forever.
100%. It was actually you know, he was sick, but nobody was expecting it.
Bursting onto the international stage, took the game to another level, and was probably an important spark for
Gone
the
too
game getting
soon.
the opportunity to go fully professional.
Such a legend, man.
He was one of those guys who had a huge impact on every team that he played with and every team that he played against.
It's really knocked the wind out of me. It's a massive blow for the All Black community after the loss of Jerry and Norm Berryman, now to have probably the greatest player to ever walk the planet pass us today. I'm still in a bit of shock, to be fair.
The GOAT.
My will and spirit
David Beckham, look at that, man.
than any mountain. Jonah Lomu had many mountains to climb and climbed them. He did.
Poor
May he
guy.
rest now. May Jonah rest in peace.
This was at his funeral. That's awesome.
Okay,
He was incredibly humble too.
time to fly home.
Really, really, really nice guy.
I think back to that game in 1995. Yes, we may have lost in extra time. I won't be a 15s world champion. But for me, it was bigger than that. Our country won. I was part of that. I'm proud to be part of that.
That's my guy, man. Yeah. 40 years old. Gone at 40. Also, if you notice that his left eyebrow was always usually shaved, those little patches in his eyebrow, it was actually a number 11 that he always used to just shave into his eyebrow, because that was his number. So I don't know if it was like a good luck thing or something, but he always just used to do it. So there you have it, guys. That is it. That is the man, who really kind of, like they said in this documentary, you know, he really changed the game. He really put it on, you know, the world stage, and so many people, you know, outside of New Zealand just fell in love with him. Just fell in love with the way he played, and you know, he's credited with, you know, he's basically credited with taking the sport out of semi-professionalism into fully professional. So like, you know, they started to get paid like big money, big wages, because he drew so many fans in. He grew the game, and it was incredible. Alright guys, smash the like button, comment down below, and I will see you in the next Rugby for Football Fans episode 2.